Hi YouTube, this is 100 Dalmathan here, and it is September 2017, and I would like to take the time to talk about immigration in this country. Right now, it appears that Daca, the Dream Act, is going to be undone by President Trump, and I think this is a tremendous mistake. I know some people who are under the Dreamer Act, friends, coworkers, and they're in fear that they're going to get deported. Many people, were brought here as children against their will when they're so young. They don't even remember their home countries. If they're from Mexico or El Salvador or Honduras or other countries in Central and South America, they don't even remember these countries most of the time because they were under 16 years old, and most of their lives have been here in the United States. The Dreamer Act allowed them to pursue an education here, and they were able to get work permits, and a lot of them have established careers now, and their whole life has been here. Some of them have even started families of their own here, and now they're at risk of being deported. And people, I understand there's a lot of people who are against immigration, especially illegal immigration, but these people can't really just reestablish their lives once they get deported and they have to go back to Mexico and other countries. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to just start all over again with a new life in a place they haven't been in decades sometimes, and we're just going to leave them off and say good luck and not even assist them in relocating. That's so inhumane. I have a close association with the immigration issues because I myself am a child of an immigrant. I was born here in the United States, but my father is from Guatemala. My mother was born here in the United States. My father was a war refugee, and he fled Guatemala in the early 1970s to escape a violent civil war. He and his two brothers, my uncles, all fled and came here to the United States to escape a violent civil war that lasted for decades and to start new lives here. And I have other family members, of course, from Guatemala. I have two older half-sisters and three younger sisters in that country, and the one living here is going through immigration problems. I'm not going to go deep into that. It's personal and legally sensitive, but it is very broken, the immigration system here in this country. The reason why a lot of people come here illegally is, yes, there are some bad people who come here who are fugitives from the law in their countries, and they are trying to escape jail time, and they come here, and sometimes they continue committing more crimes. But then you have people who are in fear of their lives, and people who are just trying to escape desperate poverty. And those people do not have the money. They can't afford to come into this country legally. The visa application and the waiting time with it, the way to come into this country legally is expensive, and really only the upper class or sometimes the middle class in those countries, which is honestly a minority in El Salvador and Guatemala and Honduras, they're the only ones who are able to even come here legally. The poor people in those countries, they don't have any money to just, the immigration with the visas and all that. They don't have the money or the time to come here legally. And so they, sometimes when they're feared their lives, such as in Honduras and El Salvador, which have huge gang problems, and it's so corrupt, the police won't protect them. And the gangs there are absolute animals. They have no choice but to flee sometimes for their lives and come here. And it's a very dangerous journey they make through Mexico to come here. And when they are going to get deported, I mean, they don't know what they're going to face. They could get killed by their enemies they have back in their home countries, and they're separated from family members who are living here, and there's been a lot of attempts at immigration reform over the decades, and it's still broken. Trump, I think, is really just going about it the wrong way. There's a group in this country that are very anti-immigrant and very resistant to Latin American immigration, especially illegals, because they feel that they take away their jobs. They feel they are stealing from this economy, and that they're all criminals. Now, while there definitely are criminal, illegal immigrants, it is not right to just lump them all together as all criminals. It's not right to just assume they're all trying to rip off the system and take advantage of welfare. That's not fair to just lump them all together and accuse them of stealing jobs. Those people cannot possibly relate to what kind of living standards they had to escape from in places like Central America. They can't relate. And I also think it's just wrong when they're going to try to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. I think it's really naive and childish to expect Mexico to pay for it, and they've repeatedly said they're not going to pay for this. I think it's insulting to make them pay for a wall that's going to keep them out of the United States. That's an insult to Mexico's dignity. So anyway, I think immigration really needs to be reformed, and that could take years. But I think the way this administration is going about it is wrong. I think it is beyond counterproductive. I think it is inhumane. It is racist. It's unfair. And it's going to tear families apart. There is going to be a lot of backlash from the Latino community here. It is going to be, honestly, political suicide for Trump and his party to go through this. There are many Republicans like Paul Ryan who are even telling the president this is a terrible idea. And then there's apparently some Republicans that love this, but also think it needs to be done faster, that there shouldn't be a 6-month delay on Daca, and they want to start filing lawsuits against the government in the United States if Daca is not done away with faster. I think that is so cruel. Those people cannot even relate to the problems immigrants go through, and just think for some reason that legal immigration is somehow really easy. It's not. It's not. Anyway, I really regret what's going on. And I'm afraid, I might lose some of my friends and coworkers that I've got to know who are under the Dreamer Act. This is very tragic. Alright, YouTube, stay informed. This is Wander Domathan signing out. Bye.